Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of my Dungeon Boss PvP series. A couple of months ago I posted a video on how to take on some of the reptile teams that were popular at the time. Most of them involved using Emily or Leo on their teams, but since the implementation of Rocky turning into a plant and the implementation of Hopper, those teams aren't very popular anymore. So what we're going to look at today is just a couple of the popular reptile teams that we see out there. This first one that I'm actually attacking here is all four reptiles, and honestly you should be able to beat the all four reptile team with almost anybody. So you can use the Shade and Shadow Blade combo to kill the first two, which is usually what I do. I've been bringing Emily along, or not Emily, but rather Ember, because of her perpetual flame. Now it doesn't explicitly say it in any of the tooltips, but I've done some number crunching on her perpetual flame, and it basically doubles your damage. So if you're bringing along Koros, you're going to kill pretty much anybody. So we use the Fireman. It's not perpetual flame, sorry. The Fireman is basically a good way to double your damage. So anybody that I attack here is pretty much going to die. So the mechanic's usually the same. You use Shade to kill Cobra or Viperia, whichever one's first. And yeah, 96,000. So that's a pretty big hit, even by Shade standards. And then Shadow Blade, 44,000, also a big hit. And then really that just leaves Koros to clean up the mess here. And while he didn't do a ton to Cobra, he still did enough to wipe the team. So you could obviously do somebody else besides Ember if you don't have her. I only have her 1 star, so it's not like she's overpowered for me or anything like that. So keep that in mind when you do the all four reptiles. You should be able to beat it easily as long as you kill the right people in the right order. So more difficult is going to be switching to the Rocky team. The Rocky team is a little bit of a nuisance because of everybody getting the haste and the evasion. It's quite the pain in the ass. And actually most people are just skipping this defense altogether. There are some better teams than what I'm going to use here. This is actually more of a test mode than anything. This is something we talked about on our guild a while back when they first came out with the new Rocky mechanics, and we thought maybe just fight the reptiles with the reptiles, and using Rocky is the best option there. So really you're just playing your RNG versus their RNG, and sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. So I certainly wouldn't use this team if you are on a streak, at least a reasonable streak. But there is part of this team that I want to show you that I think has some little bit of merit that's worth noting. So like I said, this isn't my go-to team for this defense. And actually when I do my live stream on July 1st, maybe some people could recommend some teams. We could actually try and take on some of these with some other teams to see how they fare. But like I said, most of the time I'm skipping this defense altogether. It's really not one that I want to attack. I usually like to keep my streaks going and just get as many trophies as I can. So like I said, we're just doing our RNG versus theirs. So everybody's going to get the evasion and the haste, and it's just a matter of can we survive. Now we have the taunt on Crex, but the thing is, I think with this approach you almost have to ruin him towards attack so that Viperia would kill him. So she ended up killing my Viperia, which makes things kind of sucky, but it puts the shield on Cobra, which is ultimately what we want. We want somebody to get killed so that we ultimately generate that shield, and then it's just a sort of a battle of wits. So my Cobra is pretty tough, so she can wipe the floor pretty good and killed their Viperia, which is what we need. And now it's pretty much just a tit for tat type thing. So this is actually, it was a very fun match because it just kept going back and forth, and I really didn't know who was going to win. Because he still had Rocky in there, I was a little bit concerned. And I know that, you know, Crex can take a lot of damage. So it was an interesting match here. But the most interesting part has yet to come up. So we'll see that in due time, though. So sit tight. That's the worst part there about a prolonged attack with the reptiles, is that constant healing by Cobra. Once you start getting stacks of venom, it's good if you have it yourself, but that venom is a beast if you have to try and survive through that, because she keeps healing the team, and then boom. This here's the worst part about this fight. She kills my Krex, but fortunately it gives another shield, which we like. And we retaliate. Killed theirs. So things are looking a little bit better, but still ultimately not the best. Because we're poisoned, but we're immune. She's immune as well. And so basically you can kind of see where this is going. It's 2-on-1. You can kind of guess what's going to happen. And it's a little bit uneventful, but I'm not going to speed it up. I don't want to deal with any recording issues here. But the main thing is we soaked through those things there with the big attacks. And this should kill Rocky then. And now it's a one-on-one fight. So full health versus full health, it comes down to who's got the better Cobressa. My Cobressa is ruined for attack. I know a lot of people say don't do that, but other people say, yeah, go ahead and do it. And you can see me showing the tooltip on Drop Dead Gorgon. The reason being is I wanted you to see that the tooltip didn't really say anything special, but it still works. And so now, advantage me. And what I also wanted to point out is Drop Dead Gorgon can outright kill them through that invincible shield. That's what's part of makes the Reptile team somewhat alluring for using this. If you can get one of those shields up and survive for a few turns, you can do a bunch of different things. And so it was quite the marathon, probably one of the longer fights that I've had in a long time at this level of PvP. Especially up in the Legend League. Anyways, I got one more fight here. And this one is another what I would consider easy win. I'm going to use the Reptiles and Rocky again. But looking at this person's defense, I hate to say, but it was a very, very, very poorly thought out defense. If you're going to be using Rocky and Reptiles, there is no reason at all, no conceivable reason under the sun why you would ever put Krex first. So that's basically just a death sentence. So if you're going to use Reptiles, put Viperia or put Cobressa first, but putting Krex first is just asking for trouble. So he did say in his name he is a bad player, and I will definitely agree with that. That was a very, very bad move. So again, we're playing RNG versus RNG. So, but it's not really because he used Krex first, and so I didn't have to soak anything from his Viperia or his Cobressa, which basically gives me free reign to just light him up. And so I have to attack Krex first, but usually he eats it and then kill somebody else, usually Viperia. Down she goes, and basically just the same as before then. So I killed Rocky as well, and then their Krex goes down too. So now it's 4-on-1, no chance. Plus we have the wonder skill that is Drop Dead Gorgon. And like I said, right through the shield, down she goes. So if you want to transform from a bad player to a better player, switch Krex to be last, put Viperia first like everybody else. But that is the extent of the Reptile teams that I have right now. So when I get a couple of videos with Reptiles plus Kira, I will definitely show them. I didn't have any on hand. I just happened to record a couple of these one night when I was playing. So what I'll do here is I'm gonna show you my runes, just to show you that my Reptile team is not great. I mean, it's good. It's good enough to get me by. It's basically just a second tier attack team. I'll throw Cobressa and Viperia in attacks every now and then. Viperia is a bigger hitter. She's a bigger hitter out of all of mine, so I do have some of the better ones. Nothing really superior. You can see it's just a bunch of graders, and nothing really that, you know, one superior tactics, and it's a damage reduction. So certainly nothing to behold. I haven't really put a lot of time into the runes here, and I also don't have a ton of runes like some of the super duper elite players where everybody is runed out with superior runes. I don't play like that. I don't have that kind of resources. So you can see Krex is all just health and damage. Cobra is rune for attack, which I know most people say not to do, but I did it anyways because I don't have her as PvP defense, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, so that's the current reptiles right now. If you wanted to basically give it a try, I definitely recommend trying the reptiles against the reptiles. Like I said, it's kind of fun. Just don't do it against reptiles when you have a big streak going. So try to be smart about it. But like I said, when I do my live stream on July 1st, we will look for some reptile teams, and we'll start tinkering with some other teams, and we'll take suggestions from you guys in terms of what we want to attack them with and see how it works with the various rune sets. But until then, we will see you again next time. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. If you like this video, please show your continued support by hitting that like button, and be sure to check out both my YouTube channels for new content all the time. And always remember, peace is a lie, there's only passion. We'll see you next time.